Yeah. Okay, so good morning. One more course you have to do. This is EE801. So familiar faces. So which means you have to bear with me one more time this semester. So as you know, this course is PG seminar course. So who's going to give seminar? Me or you? You. At least you guys know that. Okay. So today's class will just be a brief introduction to the course, how the course will be conducted, and how to give a good presentation, so on. I'll just give a brief pointers to that. That's all. Okay. Yeah. So firstly about the course, as you guys know, this is about giving good presentations, right? This is not be a class where this is not be a course where I will be continuously giving lectures. Only in the first class I will give some pointers as to how to give and how not to give good presentations, and then you guys will start giving presentations and we can kind of improve it. That's the whole focus of this. Now, why do you want to learn how to give good presentations? Very good question. Thanks for asking. Answer is this. For starters, MTechs, you guys have to give at least one presentation to your defense. And if you're lucky and doing PhD, you have to give two seminars, short and open. And of course, once you go to your job, you will have to give a lot more presentations. Right? And also, once you go to job, lot of times, it is not about the job you are doing, the work you are doing. It is about the work you are presenting in your presentation. That's what finally matters. So it really pays to understand how to give good presentation. Okay. So it is about the perception of what we have done to others. That's what will determine your career growth in sometimes. Okay. And yeah, use this course as a practice case. This is essentially, no one is here to judge you, right? This is basically for you to improve your skills, hone your skills, give presentations, and take feedback and sort of improve upon it better. That's the whole focus. And who needs to take? If you already know, master students. So you should do it at least once. And PhD students, you should be doing it at least twice before you graduate. MTechs, so you guys are PhD, MTech, both of you are PhD. Okay, so you guys have to do it twice before you graduate, right? Yeah, about the course plan. So make sure you report to this room, D8229, every Tuesdays, 10:30. I'll take attendance first. Oh, today is Wednesday. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Wednesday. Let me just correct it here. Else, I can do it. Yeah. Thanks. See, just a test to make sure you are paying attention. So, these are tricks you can do if you are taking class like me. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Wednesday. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Wednesday, 10:30. And yeah, you'll have to give at least one seminar throughout the course. And the duration is about 15 to 20 minutes. The exact duration I'll let you know shortly. And you make sure you consult with your thesis supervisor or with me about what topic you want to do. It should be a technical talk. It need not be full-blown research talk. It can be any technical talk on any topic that you are comfortable with. That's all. And you should make sure that you send an abstract and the notice of your talk 3 days in advance to the class group. So that's what the rule says. And I'll send out the schedules shortly. Coming to how the course is evaluated, make sure you attend all the classes. Attendance is mandatory because there's going to be 10-12 classes in this semester. I'm not going to conduct surprise quiz, mini quiz, nothing. So just come, sit, attend your friends, seminars, understand something, ask questions, and see how to give good talks, right? See, unless you attend seminars or unless you attend multiple presentations, you will not know what is a good presentation, what is not a good presentation. Right? Unless you see people here, unless you hear people giving talks and do multiple such things, you will not know what is a good talk and what is not a good talk. So make sure that you take feedback from everyone's presentations, everyone's talk, so that you can work. So yeah, as I told, 75% attendance is minimum, right, for passing the course, or you'll get an X grade, and you can call yourself the X-Man. And seminar evaluation, basically, as I mentioned, abstract must be sent 3 days in advance, and make sure you give good talk and good slides, right? And the rest of the talk, I'll basically give you some pointers as to how to give a good talk and how to prepare good presentation slides. So first, I'll discuss about how to structure the content of your talk typically, right? So the main thing is time is key, right? Because you have limited time. Make sure you get to the point as soon as possible. Don't give long, boring introductions and bore everyone out. This is something typical with VLSI students. For a lot of presentations, the first 5-10 slides will be this semiconductor, the next big thing, it is going to be $1 trillion market, the next financial year projection is this much, 5G market is this much, 6G is going to be this much in the next 10 years, IoT market is going to boom in the next 10 years. All such market data you will give, and of course one slide will always be there, Moore's law, right? So don't give such generic introductions unless it is actually relevant, directly relevant to your research work. Indirectly everything is related, yeah, agreed. But you don't have one whole day to talk, just have a short time. Make sure you are crisp. Don't give such generic introductions. Directly go to your work. Make sure that within the first couple of minutes, give a background of your problem and motivate why that is relevant to work on. Right? So sooner you get to your topic, better it is. So try to have this in mind. Within the first couple of minutes, you finish your general background. It should not be very generic. Background of your particular topic and motivation should be done in the first couple of minutes. And then you explain what is the problem that you are trying to solve, right? And why is it important to solve. And of course, then you show how did you solve, and then proof whether did you solve it or you're just bluffing, right? Proof will be some kind of proof, mathematical proof or simulation results, measurement results, something that you present here. And then you sort of say how this particular solution compares with other solutions. Remember, at the end of the day, no solution is the best in the world. Every solution will have its own pros, its own cons, right? You should have a clear understanding of what are the limitations of your particular solution. If you know that, which means you have understood your work thoroughly. So you don't have to sugarcoat a lot of things. Every solution will have one set of advantages, one set of disadvantages. We can briefly talk about that. And yeah, finally you can conclude. And I always say that a good technical talk should have something for everyone to take back. Right? What I mean is, see, you guys are here. Not everyone here is working in the same area. Some of you might be working in, material fabrication, device modeling, circuit design. So you have a diverse set of people in the small audience itself, right? So which means what you are talking should be understandable for people who are not working in your area. So it is your job to make sure you fill in the gap. For that, I don't mean you start from Schrodinger's equation and start deriving things from scratch, right? You at least give the bare minimum, say that, hey, this is something known already. Because of this, what I'm going to say next will follow. Something like that. It should be understandable for everyone. See, at the end of the day, a good talk, the goal of a talk is to make sure someone understands and goes back home, right? Your talk should not be something that confuses people and then sends back home without anything. Right? See, and even finally, when you are giving your seminar, right? Finally, in your seminar, your lab mates are going to attend your talk. But remember, all your lab mates will be working in similar areas. But the particular problem you are working on, only you will know. So a lot of things which are very obvious to you will not be obvious to your fellow lab mates who are still working in similar area. So even when you are giving your seminar, you should have this in mind that the audience will not be able to completely follow immediately what you are saying. So have that in mind and try to fill in the gap. That is very crucial. So at the end of a good technical talk, there should be something for everyone to take back. For example, if a non-specialist, that is a person who is not working in your areas there in the audience, he or she should be able to at least understand these. What is the general problem the presenter was talking? Why was it important to solve? And at least how the person might not be able to understand how did you solve and the proof and stuff, right? But at least what is the problem that the presenter was talking about and why was it important to solve? These 2 points should be clear. And of course, how it compares with other works, right? These three are the bare minimum a non-specialist should be able to take back from your talk. And of course, if a person working in your area is sitting and attending the talk, he or she should be able to understand almost everything. Okay? So the take back should be for everyone, not only for you. So I'll say this typically, how Indian masala film is, mass commercial movies. You have songs, comedy, action. So if you like songs, there are songs in the movie. If you like action, action is there in the movie. Comedy is there in the movie. You have everything except good story. Yeah? So it should be like that. You should package it properly. So this is about structuring the content. Now of course, it is not enough if you have the content structured properly. it is also equally important to present it properly, right? So basically, the next few minutes I'll talk about how to make good slides. And for that, I made set of slides, 2 versions of slides on a particular topic. I'll show you 2 versions so that you'll understand what is a good slide and what is not a good slide. And instead of choosing a technical topic and bore you to death, I decided to choose something non-technical. So I hope everyone follows cricket or likes to watch cricket to some extent. So what happened on March 9th, 2025 for Indian cricket team? Remember? Yeah, we won Champions Trophy, incidentally. So I'll make a presentation on Champions Trophy. So let us say you want to show India's journey to victory starting from the group stages. Right? This is the content. I have structured my content. This is the content I want to present. So one way to present it in a slide is as follows. I'll have sentences like this. I'll say in the group stages, first India played with Bangladesh, won by 6 wickets. Then we played with Pakistan, won by 6 wickets, blah, 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 blah. This is one way to do version 1. Now I'll show you second version, something like this. Right? Where it's clear that first match was with Bangladesh in group stage, next with Pakistan, New Zealand, next was semi-final with Australia, and final with New Zealand. Which of these 2 slides was better? Second one. So what is different in this than the first? Flowchart, but more importantly, see, the first one had a lot of text, right? But in the second version, I scrapped off all the text, tried to show it pictorially. Visual aids, exactly, right? So that's the important thing. Make sure your slide has as little text as possible, and make sure you try to represent the content in the form of images as much as possible. Okay. Again, remember the content is still the same. I didn't change the content. The same content you can present it in multiple ways. A better way is to present it pictorially with the help of visual aids. I'm not asking you to make animation like Bahubali or these movies. The normal picture slides. And another, instead of showing it this way, an even better way is this. I can first start like this. I'll say we'll look at group stage. In the group stage, the first match was with Bangladesh. Next we played with Pakistan. Next it was with New Zealand. And then we went to semi-finals. And then we went to finals. Right? So this is an even better way of presenting the same information again. So don't show everything in one shot. Try to go point by point. That is better. So the first pointer is this. Make sure you use as little text as possible and try to use a lot of pictures and visual aids. As I say, one picture can speak 1000 words or 10,000 words if you listen carefully. So that's it. So make sure that you avoid any clutter in the slides. Don't have information packed all throughout the slide so that audience has to see what is in this corner, what is in this corner, etc. Try to keep it as minimal and neat. Okay. But of course, sometimes not all information can be put in the form of pictures. Let's say, for example, in our context, I want to talk about Rohit Sharma's speech in the presentation ceremony. That is something it's completely verbose. I can't fully use pictures. So again, one way to show that particular text is this. I can do it this way, 5 different points like this. So this is one way to present the information, right? But of course, if I put all 5 points like this with long text, now think from the perspective of audience. Audience is sitting there. The audience has 2 forms of inputs now. One is the visual input, which is the slide. Second is the auditory input that you are speaking. Now the audience will try to read the long sentences in your slides, at the same time try to listen to what you are speaking. So they'll completely get confused and they'll be thrown off. Overload of information is always not good, right? But of course, this is something you have to write in terms of text, right? So let's see how we can do it more efficiently. For example, I'll take the first sentence. The first sentence says, Rohit Sharma told bowling was consistent throughout the game, contributing significantly to the victory. Well, instead of writing it in full sentences like this, I don't have to do it, I can shorten it. This entire sentence, I can show it like this. Just 3 words. Consistent bowling, victory. Now show this and then say, hey, Rohit Sharma told that throughout the series, the bowlers bowled consistently and that was important for us to win the game. Okay. So this is something I find a lot of times in presentations. Students try to copy paste text from textbooks or papers. You'll have long sentences, completely formed sentences. That's not needed, and that actually throws off the audience. Remember, you're not writing a textbook or project report where you should form completely, grammatically consistent sentences. So you don't have to form structured sentences. Just keep keywords and phrases like this, and then you talk on top of it. This way the audience can easily read the 3 words and then quickly listen to you, right? Similarly, the second line, if I take, KL Rahul showed remarkable composure and under pressure and finished the match expertly, I can basically say KL Rahul composed and finished the match. Done. You don't have to write is, was, there, everything, right? Only the keywords and the key phrases. No need to check for grammatical, consistency and stuff. So the entire thing like this, I can basically keep it. So typically I always say that anytime you have a line, anytime you have a text that runs for more than one line, that is not a good presentation. Anytime you have some text that runs for more than one line, it can easily be shortened to 3-4 words. So as a thumb rule, I'll always say don't have long sentences spanning more than one single line. Try to have 3-4 words at the max. Okay. And this is something you might have recognized if you watch good presentations from, let us say, Google, Microsoft, or NVIDIA. I mean, how many of you watch this keynote of Google, this annual talks given by Google, Microsoft, and stuff? If you, for example, this is a slide I've taken from Google I/O's keynote this year. This is Sundar Pichai at the small here. I mean, you see here, and this was a slide. As you see, it has a lot of images, and the text is all 2-3 words. That's it. And for example, I'll take this particular instance. So at this instance, he had these 4 words: agents operating digital environments. Those are the keywords that is given, and the explanation he gives for this is this: computer use is an important agentic capability. It is what enables agents to interact and operate browsers and other software. So he didn't write this entire sentence on the slide. What he did is the following: they captured the essence of this whole sentence in the form of 4 keywords and showed only those 4 keywords on the slide and then explained on top of it. Okay, so this is what you should be doing if you are making good slides. I mean, in the future also, when you are seeing good presentations, you can notice these things, especially from big companies like Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA, Apple, right? You check their annual presentations, it will always be this. And another important thing, if you take some information from somewhere, make sure you give credits like this. That is really important. So second point is, make sure you are very concise. Don't use long sentences, keep it short. And as a thumb rule, only use single line sentence. And if it rolls over for more than 2 lines, that is a big no. So again, this is the text we saw. So one way is to actually show all the points in one shot. A better way is this: I start first point, talk about the first point in detail, then I show the second point, talk about the second point in detail, third point, fourth point, and fifth point. This is more easy for the audience, because if you show all the points in one shot, an audience, let us say someone comes 5 minutes late, the person will not understand what point you are talking about, right? So if you show all points, the person will not be able to understand which point you are focusing on. So show it point by point. And this is not the only way to show it point by point. You can also show it like this. You can show all the points in the same time and highlight the one that you are talking. I can say this is the second point, and so on. And another way is basically, emphasize only the point you are talking and de-emphasize the other points. So show it like this one way. Okay. So that's a thing. Don't show all information in one shot. Try to show it point by point so that it's much easier to understand what you're talking about. Okay. So this is another thing. So I'm showing, this is the same thing, I didn't change. So this is one way to show the slide. This is other way to show the slide. Which is better? What is the difference? It's very trivial, but sometimes people miss it. From your laptop, at this distance, it will all read nicely. But in this projector, if let us say I had in this room, if I had 3 more rows, if I showed the first one, person in the last one might not be able to read this. So make sure you use legible fonts, 24, 28 or higher, or I would say 28 or higher, right? That's better. Again, this is very trivial, I mean, it looks obvious, but yeah, sometimes people use it. So next is about showing figures, right? So for this I'll take a technical plot, right? So a lot of times, in presentations, I've seen, students lie blatantly to my face. They will show this figure and then they'll say it is extremely obvious that the current is greater than 100 microamps. Unless you give a telescope from me to me and then I zoom into the telescope, I cannot read this graph. Correct? So make sure you don't give images like this. Instead, show it like this. Should be extremely legible. Make sure the axis is labeled so that they know what is the graph you are showing, both x and y axis. And instead of showing it like this, right, here I've given into 10 power minus 4. And the for the audience, this is another piece of information they have to decode, right? So instead of showing it like this, I can say it's in milliamps. Simplify things. Make sure the figures you are showing is easily readable in one shot. Someone should not spend a lot of effort in reading that figure. And another thing is, make sure that you don't, when you resize images, keep the aspect ratio, right? For example, let us say here I am showing Rohit Sharma's image after winning the trophy. This is the correct image. Sometimes students want to resize the image so that in x-axis I want to make some more space. What they do it this way. So they make Rohit Sharma very thin and very tall. Or sometimes they want to make more space. What they do? They make him more fatter and more sharp. So don't do it this way. So just like how you can't do this for Rohit Sharma, don't do it for your graphs also like this. Right? Even your IV characteristics is poor. So don't kill it like this. So make sure if you want to resize the image, you maintain the resolution. The width to height ratio should be same. So someone already didn't know. What I mean is this. If I have an image like this, don't resize this way or resize it this way. Instead, if you want to resize, you resize like this, locking the aspect ratio. That's all. Okay. That's what you should be doing. Actually, yeah. Where is the pointer? So the conclusion of this is make sure your figures are neatly labeled and legible, and the resolution is preserved. Don't scale it. Don't just scale the width or the height. Scale both of them with the same aspect ratio. Okay. So another minor thing. This is basically related to cosmetics of your slides. So you can use a simple template like this, but a lot of times students try to go crazy and try to use exotic templates and use something like this. Right? In PowerPoint, this template is called circuits. You're like, oh, VLSI, this is called circuits, I'll use it. So do you think this is readable or the previous one was readable? This is readable. So no need to go crazy with colors and fancy designs. The point of the talk is not to impress audience with your graphic skills. They have to just understand the information you're talking about. Keep it really plain and simple. So don't use exotic colors like this. See, other thing is about use of colors, right? You can use all sorts of colors on your laptop where your resolution is 1080p. But finally, when you project it on a projector, the resolution can be really bad, 144 pixels. So colors will not be rendered properly. So try to use black and white or primary colors, red, blue, green kind of thing. Don't use all kind of light yellow, light green, sky blue, navy blue, all random colors. So keep it like this. Or even if you want to change the background, try to make sure it is slightly doable. But a better way is to keep it plain. And if you want to use it in completely dark mode, like me, you can do it like this. This I pulled off a slide from EE801 last semester. I completely use black and then use white font. Something like this is what we should do. Yeah, so that's the this one summary. So make sure you don't use exotic templates, and make sure you use the area in the slide to the maximum possible, right? For example, here I see that a lot of area is getting wasted because the template says the template will fix this as unusable space. You can type only in this space. It's completely useless. Right? Don't waste space. make sure you utilize the maximum area in the slides so that information you type in there is visible to the audience 20 rows from behind. Yes. So other thing is, yeah, usually, right, so first slide in a presentation is always this, and what will be the second slide in any presentation? Huh? What do you mean? Huh? Table of contents or something like this. So usually the second slide in all seminars I've seen is this. This is going to be the outline of my talk. First I'll talk about the introduction. I'll give introduction of my area of research. Then I'll talk about prior work. What is the prior work done to solve my particular problem? Then I'll explain the work done and how is the proposed work. Then I'll show the measured results, how I solved the problem, and these are the measured results and simulation results. And then I'll compare it with other works, and then I'll conclude the talk. Then I'll talk about the future scope, how to expand this work and make it better in the future. And then I'll show references. Now when I talk this for, let's say, 1 minute or so, did you get any information about my work? I can basically copy this slide and put it to any seminar, it will still work. So this is again very personal thing. I find this slide to be useless, because obviously you will start with introduction, talk about prior work, and then conclude. No one in the right set of mind will start with conclusion, go to prior work, references, and introduction. So it is obvious that you will start with introduction, discuss about the work, your solution, and conclude it. So there is no need to show this slide, because you are wasting some 1 minute or 40 seconds in explaining this. Again, this is my personal choice. Others might not agree, but yeah, that's what I say. So unless you can explain what your work is in the outline itself, there is no need to have this. See, remember, you are working for, let's say, 1.5 years. Your presentation is shortened for 15-20 minutes. So it is already like, showing a trailer of a movie. That is your presentation. Now in the outline, if you can give a teaser of your movie, a very short preview of your work, you can have the outline. But if you cannot say, don't have it. For example, let's say you're designing something and then say that I'm reducing the power by doing some noise cancellation technique here and there. Then that one line you can include here. You can say that in the proposed work, I'm doing noise cancellation and improving the power consumption, reducing the power consumption. So that is one information that you're conveying about your work. Unless you are able to convey that one line, unless you are able to give one line summary of your work in outline slide, don't have it. Basically, any content which is generic, avoid in your presentation. Because you have limited time, don't have these things. And yeah, of course, the important thing, stick to the time. You guys already hate when we take extra time in the classes. So same thing here also. If you are given a limited time, use it. Stick to the time, don't take extra. So which means it is not just enough to just make the slides and directly come and present. You have to rehearse it twice, thrice, or 4 times. Right? Only then you will be able to see how long you take, so that you can add more content or reduce some content. And yeah, to summarize all the points, first we saw, make sure you show the information with as little text as possible. Use visual aids. Make sure you are concise. Don't use completely meaningful sentences. There is no need to have this. Just important phrases, so that it is not long sentences. And make sure you don't show all the information in one shot. Highlight point by point, like how I am doing now. And make sure what you are having in the slide is legible. Use minimum 28 font size or higher, so that it is readable easily. And whatever figures you have, they should be legible. Axis should be clearly labeled, and the resolution should be preserved. Okay. And yeah, don't go for exotic templates in PowerPoint. Use plain black and white, and make sure you use the area as much as possible. And at the important thing, you make sure that you stick to the time. So which basically means you have to rehearse and practice your talk at least 3-4 times or more before coming and presenting here. Now this is about how you prepare good slides. Now, of course, there are some etiquettes while presenting. So make sure while presenting, face the audience. So a lot of times students have content, they look at it and read the content. So please try to avoid it. Maybe you have stage fear, it's okay, but remember this, only 10-12 students are here. I'm sure you guys already know each other, right? You talk, look at your friends and talk. Think of it like explaining what you are doing to your friend. Don't think of it as presentation. You might have stage fear for sure, right? But this is a state, this is a place for you to overcome the stage fear. And make sure you sort of pause before switching to next slide. So what I mean is this, so let me take some slide. Yeah, so sometimes people show, let's say from this slide I'm moving to the next slide, right? I'll say pointer number 6, you stick to the time and then immediately move to the next slide. Don't do that. Anytime you talk about a particular slide, let's say I'm coming from this slide to this slide. So the conclusion of this pointer is you stick to the time. You wait for 1 second, you pause for a second so that the audience is looking at the slide and grasping it, and then you move to the next slide. Don't need to tuck move. Okay. And yeah, other thing is, even when you're speaking, you make sure you're talking slowly and try to give pauses between your phrases, right? This is something I try to do. I try to give pauses between phrases as I speak. I mean, this is something good speakers try to do. It's basically, I do it because that 1 second of pause helps me think what I should speak next, right? Because a lot of times I don't rehearse things. I just try to talk and then I give pauses. As and when I give pauses, now I'm thinking what to speak next. And of course, finally, make sure you are enthusiastic while presenting, right? Don't say that, hey, I do this work because I didn't have any other work to do. I was doing this. It's okay, maybe you didn't like your work so much, but show some enthusiasm while presenting. Okay, so I think that's about it. So any questions?